Hello. So this is going to be thorough. Okay. I have written several articles on LinkedIn, on my blog, and they run the gamut, but they all have to do with learning development and evaluation. Okay. They're all relevant to that. So I wanted to talk today about something that we never really talk about in organizations at all, at all. And I want to address it in terms of diversity and inclusion programs. Okay. So the article is the racism in diversity and inclusion program. So it's right here. It's on my LinkedIn page, but I'm going to be referring to it, as I talk about it today, because I want to get the word out. I want to get the word out because it needs to be out. And it's just, this stuff is tired, like so tired, especially with all the stuff we got going on right now in this country regarding all this division and this fakeness, and it's just ridiculous. Okay. So I started off by talking about the little girls in Alabama and the church bombing. Carol, Addie, Cynthia, and Carol, the 16th Street Baptist Church bombing in Alabama in 1963. So after that happened, one thing that Dr. King said was, listen, it's not just about the individual who did this. It's about the support of the system that allowed him to do this. Okay? That this stuff is supported. Okay? It's allowed and backed by a system in this country that continues to allow this kind of stuff to happen. It's not about one individual not liking Black people or whatever, okay? Or whoever, or other POC, or one individual not liking white people, okay? If that were the case, and there was a system backing you up with what you were doing, okay? But that's not the case here, right? We know that. So that's what he said, and this was it's 2019 now, and the system still is in place. It's still in place. So one thing, now there's a lot of stuff going on in the sector of Facebook that I'm in right now, talking about racism, and people are afraid to say certain things, right? And people are being judged for not being enough, having enough melanin in their skin, or having too much melanin in their skin, and you can't tell what's going on, or whatever. Okay. There's a lot of that going around. So one thing that I love about, so there's two books that I've recently read. So you want to talk about race by Ijeoma Olowu, I think that's how you say her name. And the other one is White Fragility by Dr. Where's that book? What is her name? Y'all look up White Fragility. I forget her name, the lady who wrote it, but it's really, really good. I listened to it several times. It's very good. Both of them in that book define racism as any prejudice against someone because of their race, when those views are reinforced by systems of power. So it's not just that I don't like you because of the melanin in your skin. Okay? It's that I don't like you and is backed by systems of power. Court systems, banks, governments, the housing people, all that stuff. It's backed by that. Okay? And I love that definition of racism because it takes it off of, individual. This individual is being mean to me. No, that's not it. You cannot solve a problem where it isn't. The problem that we call racism isn't in a single person. Okay? It's in systems. It's in systems. You cannot like me till the cows come home. Okay? But you can't treat me any kind of way because of your dislike of the color of my skin, who I sleep with, who I choose to marry, any of that stuff, right? You can't dislike me and do something based on that dislike and be supported by systems of power, right? The system of power should come forth and say, we don't do that here. Like we don't, that's not how we move in this United States of America. We don't do that. Okay. So we're not going to support this behavior. I don't care what you look like. Okay. We're not going to support it. That's not what we say. That's not how we roll here. We talk a lot of talk about it. We say all the nice, pretty words in front of microphones and at town hall meetings and all that stuff. But when you really see what's going on, you know that's not true. You know it's not true. So something else I say about in here is to look at the typical program. Listen, go on LinkedIn, go on CNN, go somewhere. Look at who's the head of diversity and inclusion in organizations. What do they have in common? What do they got in common? What do they have in common? Okay. Now let me tell you something. And we're proud of it too, right? They're Black women and men and other POC, Asian people, and other. They're the head of the diversity and inclusion. So now that they're there, you figure I'm good. I'm done. We got diversity and inclusion covered. It's covered. We got somebody in the office. They're creating the policies. All right, now I ain't got to worry about this no more. We're good. We're on to the next thing. Okay, that's not how that works. These programs, so I asked some questions, right? Think about the diversity and inclusion program in your organization. Do they infiltrate, confront, and change racist systems? Just within the organization. Look at the hiring. What is it looking like at the top? What is it looking like in the C-suite? Okay. Is any of that changing? Here's another question. Do the program managers have the power and authority to change policies and procedures? How does that work where you are? Do the minority executives who usually head these offices have the money, influence, and support to allocate money to review and revise laws, regulations, and all those things? Is that what they're doing? None of the ones I've been in have done that. I didn't, you don't even know they have an office like that until you read it in the newspaper or on the intranet or something like that, right? There's no transformational change. People, they look the same. I don't see nothing changing with the people I got to report to. Like, I really don't. Seriously, like why are they there? Diversity and inclusion programs are not created to change and dismantle systems. That's not why they're there. They're there to quietly keep the current system in place, but just to satisfy people so they don't say nothing and they make it look like y'all doing something. That's what they're there for. That is absolutely what they're there for. Why have we been struggling for umpteen years to change the way leadership looks at the top? Really, why have we been struggling with that? Look in your organization, look in Congress, look in various places where you have leadership at the top. They call the US, what do they call the USDA? I forget what they call it, but it's something that has to do with the fact that, how you have chocolate milk, you say you got chocolate milk, but all the chocolate at the bottom, you let it settle at the bottom and all the white milk is that's the way it is. I forget what they call it, but that's like how and you call that diversity and inclusion, right? You call that diversity and inclusion. That's not it. You got to mix that up, right? You need to reflect what the public looks like. Okay. But diversity and inclusion programs are not here for that. That's what people got to understand. That's not why they're in the That's not why they're there. I'm just telling you, in general, that's not why they're there. And if you have one that's actually doing something, that's actually making a difference, that's actually addressing the inequities within the system, because what they need to be doing is distributing that power and making resources and access to resources more equitable is what really needs to be happening. It's not just about hiring a Black lady to lead the D&I office. Okay? It's about more than that. But that's really not what they're doing. Okay, I'm almost done. So what I propose, because I don't just be, writing stuff, talking about all the problems and all that stuff, right? What I propose is to create a different kind of office, right? I call it the profit in equivalence, the PIE, the PI office, okay? And what that is, that's about, you're not, so what you don't want to do is do quotas, or we want to have, so that we can be diverse and inclusive, we need to have 3 blacks, a couple gays, and a few Asians. If I could get me a black, gay, little person or something, you get as many minorities in one to help cover that, because that's what normally happens, right? It's about a quota. It's about having a certain number somewhere so that you can say, oh, we're, our diversity and stuff is working. That's not it, right? Listen, people want to be valued for what they can do, what they can contribute. Okay. And that's how you need to be chosen. If you apply for something, you apply for a job, it should not be the decision to hire you should not be based on your name. If my name is Shaniqua, and automatically something goes up where you just, I'm not hiring her or whatever, you don't know nothing about me. So that's what I'm talking about. And I think that's why some places have gotten smart. They've gotten smart and they realize that we are missing out. We're missing out on intelligence. We're missing out on diverse perspectives. We're missing out on so many things because we racist. We cannot choose a person based on merit. And we know this is hurting our business. We know this is hurting us. It's hurting. Okay. And competition right now, because of the spread of the internet and all the stuff that we're doing now, the way information is available to anybody, there are like 7 billion people on this earth. You're not competing against that other organization down the street. You're competing against 7 billion people, okay, who are free to create various things that compete with what you're doing. You got to get smart. If you got a business, you got to get smart about it. Okay. And people are realizing this. So what they're doing, some of them have, they're using machine learning to help select the people. Okay. Because the machine doesn't have bias like that. So the machine is actually looking for, like, it's being taught, like there's a way that machine learning works where you train it to do certain things, and they're using more of that to help pick the best candidate for the job. Okay. It ain't got nothing to do with the amount of melanin that you have emanating from your being. Okay. So organizations and programs that really can see beyond their own blindness, okay, are beginning to use things like this. And even if you don't have something like that, you put together a group of people, to come together and help with that hiring process, help with that performance process, or whatever the heck you're doing in there that's stunting your growth. Because when you refuse to be diverse, when you refuse to allow, and I'm not just talking about skin color, okay? I'm talking about diverse experiences and people different ages, people from different parts of the world, whatever. When you have this bar right here where nobody can get past that unless they look and think a certain way, man, that's not sustainable. I'm telling you right now, it's not sustainable. You're not going to make it. You're not going to live. You're going to die if you have that kind of attitude, if you have that kind of perspective, if you rely on, if you keep supporting and keep investing in this system that we have here, that mistreats people based on some superficial things that really mean nothing when it comes down to it, you're going to die. Like, seriously, your business is going to die. Your ideas are going to die, all of that stuff. So it behooves organizations to look at why you have this program in place. And is this thing really doing what it's supposed to do, which is help to distribute power within the organization and allow more equitable access to resources and opportunities. Okay, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So if you want to read the whole article, it's on my Cheryl Abram LinkedIn page, and I have a few more details in there and stuff. But that's the gist of it. You know, if you're creating these programs, and oh my God, I have to tell you. There is this, okay, there's another article that I read, right, about what was it about? It was about how leadership programs can actually hurt people, you know, rather than help them. Okay. And they can hurt people rather than help them. And I see that. I've been a part of those programs. Okay. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we got to do better, y'all. Just because you admire Martin Luther King, you done read some books, you know, that doesn't mean you can facilitate an event that brings to the fore certain feelings and perceptions about, you know, how POC are treated in this country, and especially in some states and cities. You can't do that. Just because you call it a nice little, you know, name, you know, diverse perspective, or whatever the hell you call it, right? That don't mean that. You have to have a skilled person there who is really, really able to help people address these feelings that arise when they're in these certain situations. Okay. You're trying to bring people together. I get it. You're trying to show that we're all one and we're all this, but there's a reality here at the same time that you're trying to do this. Something that James Baldwin said in the interview that he did. He was telling this. So the guy was saying, you keep talking about race. It's race, race, race. Stop talking about it. You know, and he was like, listen, I don't know if the union is racist. I don't know that. What I know is that I'm not allowed there. I don't know if the school board don't like Black people. I don't know that. But what I do know is that my kids are not getting the same treatment as these other kids, you know? And he just went on and on. He was like, I don't know. You know, I don't know if you're racist. I don't know if you don't like Black. I don't know that. But what I do know is that I am not treated the same way. Okay, that's what I do know. And so that's what I'm talking about. You can want to be one and talk all this touchy-feely stuff or whatever, you know, that's really nice and all that, but address the real problem. You can only solve a problem where it is. The problem is systemic. You got to go to the root. You got to go to the system and do something about that. You have to allow people to talk about that. You have to make, you know, you have to allow that truth to be out there in the open for people to see and feel and experience and all that. You have to be okay with there being some unrest in the room, like, you know, and you need a skilled person to be able to facilitate that kind of environment. Otherwise, you are hurting more than you're helping. I'm just telling you. I'm just saying, you're hurting more than you're helping. I don't know if you care about that or not, but that's what's up. Okay, so that's all I'm going to talk about with this today. I have a list of stuff that I'm going to talk about. Just bringing some of my articles to this platform because I know some people don't like to read. Everybody's not on my LinkedIn, my LinkedIn page. And so this is just another way for me to share some of the stuff that I talk about on that related to learning and evaluation. All right. So that's all I have today. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.